the skills, be the boss. No more time to feel lost. Lead the way every day. Find success, it's here to stay. Rise and shine, it's your time. Skill up, raise the climb. Navigate, innovate. It's your fate, don't be late. Get the skills, be the boss. No more time to feel lost. Lead the way every day. Find success, it's here to stay.
If you're a new manager or hoping to be a new manager, join us in our exploration into what managers need to know. This program will set you up for success by building your knowledge and confidence in the skills you need to be effective. Hello, and welcome to What Managers Need to Know about managing meetings. And we have looked at how we start a meeting, how we manage the participants. And last week we looked at the first part of what a facilitator needs to be paying attention to make sure that the meeting goes smoothly. We talked about making sure that there were meeting minutes that were recorded. Wonder why I can't see well with this. I don't know. Instilling a sense of common purpose by focusing on what the goals are for the meeting. And we have discussed more than once the importance of having an agenda and pulling a meeting together only to make decisions that require people's presence. Keeping the group on track, which is where the agenda comes into play. Creating an atmosphere conducive to the free exchange of ideas and information. Having one way where it's clear that somebody has the floor, whether they're holding something like a cush or something that indicates that they're the ones who can be speaking at that time, making sure that everyone gets an opportunity to speak, and resolving conflict, trying to help people see they have mutual interests, focus on the shared goals, and if necessary, drawing them aside to resolve the issue. It does help if you have meeting engagement, operating principles or rules of engagement, where you've already discussed how conflict will be handled and how important it is for people to handle it in an objective and mature way, not by involving people in creating teams of support to make it more polarized. Now, providing positive feedback when warranted. That sounds a little cautionary, doesn't it? When someone is raising an issue and is not handling it in accordance with the rules of engagement that the group has already agreed to, this is a time to tactfully remind them. Maintaining interest and enthusiasm, making sure that everyone is present and accounted for. If this is an on-site meeting, that's a lot easier than it is when we're doing a virtual meeting, because people can certainly go off screen and you don't know what they're doing, which could be taking a nap or doing some other work, not paying attention to what the meeting is about. So you want to make sure that people know from the beginning why they're there, why their input is important, and to keep to the agenda, and that should have time frames so that it moves along. And there's a time limit for conversation about a certain topic so that there is less likely for people to get bored or disengaged. Summarizing periodically or at the end of the meeting. Making sure everybody's on topic and on track and knows what's been discussed and what's been decided. This is where having a flip chart for an on-site meeting or a whiteboard for a virtual meeting becomes very important, because that's where the facilitator can write down what has been discussed, what has been decided, and that could be right next to the written agenda, so that everybody is aware of what has been discussed and what has been decided. What you don't want is a meeting where there's been all kinds of conversation and nobody remembers what the final decision or conclusion was. So the facilitator's role is very important in this. Moving the group forward toward closure on agenda items. Again, having an agenda with timeframes, sticking to that, pointing out that there is time for 2 or 3 points of view, and then we're going to vote, and then making sure that that vote happens. Clarifying the final decisions. Again, when there has been a whole lot of conversation, it's very hard for people later to remember what was finally decided. So it helps to say, so we have decided this, write it down so everybody can see it and they can remember it. And outlining the next steps, because once a decision is made, it doesn't go into a drawer. Somebody has to implement it. And so the implementation steps need to be identified. What needs to be done, who's going to do it, by what time, what resources do they need, what follow-up is going to be necessary. So the facilitator's role in the meeting is incredibly important, and that person has to have good interpersonal communication skills, has to like people, because their job is to make everyone feel welcome and keep everyone involved. To the extent people want to be involved, you may have some introverts who don't want to speak up. And if that's the case, and you need to have their input, then have everybody write down their ideas and submit them. Because it's so you have people, hopefully, at that meeting who need to be there. And they need to be there because they have important information or important perspectives, or they are stakeholders in the end result, and their opinions need to be heard. So I hope that's useful in looking at what the meeting facilitator does in an effective meeting. Let's talk. If you would like help with meeting management ideas, please schedule time to talk with me for a free consultation using the URL code or the QR code. Our last session next week is going to be looking at concluding the meeting and what needs to happen at that time. So I hope you will join me for this very last session on meeting management, and also the very last session on what managers need to know. And I'll talk to you about what's going to replace it next week. So have a good week, and thank you again for sharing your time with me. Thank you so much for coming and participating in our discussion of what managers need to know. You can find the videos of this and previous sessions on my YouTube channel or under events on my LinkedIn profile. I'll look forward to seeing you again next week.
Get the skills, be the boss, no more time to feel lost. Lead it's here to stay. Get the skills, be the boss. No more time to feel lost. Lead the way every day. Find success, it's here to stay. It's here to stay. Oh, it's here to stay. It's here to stay. Yeah. Get the skills, be the boss. No more time to feel lost.